From the writings of the Gomonchu Koshin Utani. When we are filled with our own worries, the voices of others can barely enter into our ears. This is because we are too preoccupied to listen. At such times, stop right there, close your eyes, and open the ears of your heart. If you can sharpen the ears of the heart, things you ordinarily could not hear can be heard, and you can now pay attention to the person who has something to ask of you. The voice of the Buddha is the same as this. In order to hear the voice of the Buddha calling you, it is important you strain the ears of the heart to catch the sounds that you usually do not hear. By doing so, you are able to hear the wish that the Buddha places on you, and the world opens up. This experience is what Jodo Shinshu calls listening with the ears of the heart. Namo Amida Butsu. Namandos. Good evening and welcome to our annual Joya-e Metta service. Yes, it looks a little different this year, as almost everything we've experienced in 2020 has looked different. But even though we're not physically gathering at the Buddhist Church of San Francisco this year, we can still come together in a spirit of oneness and once again, close out the year in reflection and contemplation. I've heard some Buddhists say that 2020 was samsara on steroids, and it's true. It's almost impossible to imagine just 1 year ago exactly how 2020 would ultimately end up being. That there would be so many challenges requiring continuous perseverance, that so many would have had to struggle, so many would have to deal with unimaginable suffering. We've experienced separation from our families and our friends, and anxiety and depression as COVID-19 pushes us further into smaller and smaller bubbles of perceived safety. I think 2020 will be remembered as the year of the pandemic and all of the socioeconomic and emotional hardships it brought with it. But for this evening's service, I'd like to introduce a different perspective on 2020. The Buddhist Church of San Francisco belongs to the Jodo Shinshu school of Mahayana Buddhism. It's one of 10 branches of what's translated into English as the True Pure Land sect, which originated in Japan in the 12th century. Although I was ordained at our mother temple in Kyoto, Japan, I don't speak Japanese. And I don't think that that's necessary in order to understand and appreciate the profound teachings of our founder, Shinran. However, I do feel fortunate to have come across over the years some amazing Japanese expressions. And I'd like to share what I think is the most beautiful of all Japanese phrases, okage samade. Okage samade means thanks to you, I am. It literally means because of the shadow or as a result of the shadow. O is on an honorific prefix, and kage means shadow or dark part, that which we are not able to see or maybe not always notice. Sama is an honorific suffix referring to a person we admire or respect. De is because of. So Okage-sama De encompasses and acknowledges the invisible world that embraces each of us, the world made up of the actions and countless individuals that support our lives and make us who we are today. So as I look back on this samsara on steroids kind of a year, I also have to acknowledge another perspective of 2020, Okage-sama De. It is because of others' support, seen and unseen, that I am here as I am. Okage-sama De, because of the heroic efforts of our frontline medical workers, people I love have been compassionately cared for. Okage-sama De, because of the efforts of our essential workers, I am able to eat food, buy groceries, put gas in my car, and so many other mundane activities that I I truly overlook or took for granted before COVID-19. Okage sama de. Because of the generous efforts of so many teachers, I am able to hear the teachings of the Buddha Dharma. Okage sama de. Because of the kind and patient guidance of my Shin teachers and Sangha friends, I'm able to rejoice in the Nembutsu. The shadow is the invisible world that embraces us and supports us and sustains us. It is because of the hundreds and thousands of known and unknown actions that allow me to exist, even when I'm too busy or too distracted or too self-absorbed to see and acknowledge. To understand Okage sama de, it requires that I stop thinking about me, stop thinking about mine, what I need, what I want. To understand Okage sama de, I must listen with the ears of the heart. As we close out the unprecedented year that was 2020, let us once again listen to the wise words of Reverend Otani. When we're filled with our own worries, the voices of others can barely enter into our ears. This is because we are too preoccupied to listen. At such times, stop right there, close your eyes, and open the ears of your heart. When you can sharpen the ears of the heart, things you ordinarily would not hear can be heard. And you can now pay attention to the person who has something to ask of you. The voice of the Buddha is the same as this. In order to hear the voice of the Buddha calling you, it is important you strain the ears of the heart to catch the sounds that you usually do not hear. By doing so, you are able to hear the wish that the Buddha places on you, and the world opens up. This experience is what Jodo Shinshu calls listening with the ears of the heart. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. So this evening's Metta loving kindness meditation is an ancient aspiration of open-heartedness and open-mindedness. It invites us to be grounded in this precious and unrepeatable moment, directing loving kindness first to ourselves and then outward to others. We'll begin by sitting comfortably, hands resting relaxed in our lap. Back straight to alleviate any additional stress on the shoulders or the neck. Lower or close your eyes to weed out any visual distractions. And let's take several deep breaths to really connect with our bodies, following the breath in and following the breath out. The Metta loving kindness meditation. Metta always begins with ourselves. It's been said that if we don't have kindness for ourselves, then our compassion for others is incomplete. So Metta begins, may I be happy and well. May no harm or difficulty come to me. May I live in peace and with ease. Visualize, what does that look like for you? May my family be healthy and well. See them, name them. May no harm or difficulty come to them. May they live in peace and with ease. May my friends be happy and well. May no harm or difficulty come to them. May they live in peace and with ease. See them, name them. May my teachers be happy and well. Teachers are sentient beings who've opened our hearts, opened our minds. It could be a literal teacher, a Dharma teacher, or maybe a pet. It could be anything, any sentient being that's opened our hearts. So may my teachers be happy and well. See them, name them. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and with ease. May strangers be happy and well. We encounter so many strangers over the course of our life. See, really see the strangers you've encountered in the last 24 hours and make the aspiration. May they be happy and well. May no harm or difficulty come to them. May they live in peace and with ease. May my enemies be happy and well. These enemies may be someone who's created a hardship for us or presented an obstacle. So may my enemies be happy and well. See them, name them, and make the aspiration, may no harm or difficulty come to them. May they live in peace and with ease. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulty come to them. May they live in peace and with ease. What does that look like? And now we refer to our program for group recitation. We'll begin with the three treasures, going for refuge. In the three treasures is a fundamental practice shared by each and every Buddhist tradition, as it allows us to entrust ourselves to life's highest universal values. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the awakened one. Now we hear it. If we do not realize the truth in this life, when will it be realized? We are now able to see it, listen to it, accept and hold it. May we completely realize its true meaning. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we absorb ourselves in the living source of understanding and compassion and awaken to the boundless Pure Land here and now. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we be submerged in the depths of the teachings and reality as it is, and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May I, along with all sentient beings, become one Sangha of life, able to move forward and live with dynamic spirit that is hindered by nothing. The Metta loving kindness, Karuna compassion prayer, which has been adapted from Shantideva's 8th century text, The Way of the Bodhisattva. Entrusting in great compassion, may the foolishness of self be shed, transforming me into a conduit of loving kindness. May I be a medicine for the sick and weary, nursing their afflictions until they are healed. May I become food and drink during time of famine. May I protect the helpless and the poor. May I be a bed for those who need rest. May I be a lamp for those who need the light of Buddha Dharma. May all find happiness through my actions and let no one suffer because of me, whether they love or hate me, whether they hurt or wrong me. May all experience true and trusting in boundless compassion and realize the pure land of bliss. The Nembutsu. The Nembutsu is an expression of gratitude, of awakening to the boundless wisdom and compassion that embraces us all. Namo Amida Butsu simply means I take refuge in immeasurable wisdom and compassion. It's an acknowledgement of our universal oneness. The world of Okage Samade is the world of Namo Amida Butsu. So we'll chant the shortened version of Namo Amida Butsu, which is Namanda Bu. Namanda Bu, 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 Namanda Bu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. The sharing of merit. May loving kindness and compassion be shared equally with all beings. May we awaken from the illusion of our separateness and realize that we are one at heart. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namandots, 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 Namandots. So at this point in our usual New Year's Eve gathering, we have the rituals of the fire puja, incense offering, and the Joya no Kane, the bells of the last night. So since we're not at the temple and able to do these beautiful rituals, I invite you to reflect on them and offer them mentally. For the fire puja, puja is Sanskrit for offering. It symbolizes the burning of obstacles or afflictions from our mental state. We'd usually write down one thing from 2020 that we'd like to let go of, right? Something that we're hanging on to. And then during the ritual, we would put that piece of paper into a cauldron. So during the ringing of the bells this evening, I invite you to think about what you would like to let go of, what that would be. For the incense offering, some of you have obutsudans, home altars, and have incense. You can offer incense at that time. But it's also, if you don't have an obutsudan or a home altar, it's a wonderful opportunity to reflect on gratitude. And so I invite you to do just that during the ringing of the bells. So much for us to be grateful for in 2020. Lastly, we would take a turn striking the large Daikin bell for a total of 108 strikes. In Buddhism, 108 symbolizes the number of mental afflictions and blind passions entrapping us in the cycle of samsara, permeating our everyday lives. As we listen to, breathe with, and contemplate each ringing of the bell, may we appreciate the interdependency of all life as we reflect on the causes and conditions that have enabled us to live. Before we begin the ringing of the bells, I'd like to offer my deep gratitude to Kevin Yoza for all of his AV technical expertise in producing this evening's service. And I'd like to thank each of you for joining in with our annual Joya-e Metta New Year's Eve gathering. Please stay safe, stay masked, and stay connected. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. And I hope to see you at the temple next year.